to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it.
All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians. You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. I work for a company called BlackRock.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at BlackRock.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president.
So
He's controlling.
So he said you could buy politicians, right? So, like that whole debate, like both of those debates we were seeing earlier in Congress, like, you know, you, me, we the people calling our congressmen to try to have a say in what they're debating on Capitol Hill. You know, these guys will just cut them a check. And that's way more First Amendment rights than you have.
The wallet. So
And who's that?
the hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates. Obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator.
10 grand you can buy a senator. I want to know who the senator is you can buy for 10 grand. I would like to know. I've got almost that in my savings account right this minute. I will go fucking buy me a senator. I'm just kidding.
I'll give you 500K right now, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. We're done.
Does like everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
It doesn't matter who wins.
You're still gonna.
They're in my pocket at this point.
Here's Serge Varley on how good war is for BlackRock's business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah, I mean, I do have thoughts.
What are they?
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? I'll give an example. Russia.
Okay, so look, if I'm on a date, this is the fucked up part about O'Keefe's business model is if I'm on a date and she asks me about Ukraine, like I'm gonna give the most fucking if it's a first date or a second date, I'm gonna give the most milquetoast, generic. Oh, you know, they shouldn't be invaded. You know, I kind of support them. You know, I think Putin might be a bully. Whether I believe that or not, I'm gonna give that most milquetoast basic. Like I'm not trying to talk global politics with someone who I'm trying to get in bed. And the fact that this guy immediately switches to, oh man, it's so good for business. This guy goes into brag mode about his job and about the geopolitical strategies his company's using. Like here, Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos.
Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. Prices of bread, literally everything it goes up and down. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business.
See, this is my thing, is women don't, typically the women you would meet on a dating site and have a blind date, first date in one of these shady bars, that woman's not going to be trading on Wall Street. Now, maybe this woman manufactured her fake profile in such a way to make him think she's in finance or is interested in these financial topics. But why does the woman you want to fuck give a shit about your trading anyway? I mean, look, I'm going off on this tangent when really I should be pissed at BlackRock. But look, I'm at the point where I expect BlackRock to be corrupt and have their money in their hands in every pot in the United States. And this just goes to prove it.
It's exciting when goes wrong, right? BlackRock manages 20 trillion. It's incomprehensible numbers.
BlackRock Serge Varley says all of this is above a normal person's understanding.
You're like an undercover reporter. I don't know. No people don't give a shit. This is beyond them.
Okay, so here we go.
the whole thing of like domination from a concept is just, it's so interesting.
Okay, so yeah, this is where I should have started the
I'm
fucking
James
video.
O'Keefe with OMG News. Here we are
This
with
is
our
where I should have
latest
started the
story,
fucking
this
video.
time on BlackRock.
Thank you,
one of the
James.
world's leading asset and investment managers, which owns significant shares of companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Anheuser-Busch, Meta, Target.
Their hands are
Procter
in
& Gamble,
every pot.
Comcast, CNN, Fox, and yes, Pfizer, just to name a few. At OMG, we do not shy away from exposing powerful
BlackRock
companies, and
is
we're not
top
afraid of
5
powerful
investors
people.
in all these
So we decided
previous
to take a look
companies
for
that
ourselves
were
at the
mentioned.
influence BlackRock has on our politics and the influence they have on our culture. So to do that, what better place to start a hidden camera investigation than into a self-described gatekeeper at BlackRock?
Like, you're kind of like a fucking gatekeeper at BlackRock.
Yeah, I am. I decide people's fates. Every fucking day, I literally decide how somebody's life is going to be shaped.
That's so powerful. I love it.
Yeah, it's I don't know, the whole thing of like domination from a concept is just, it's so interesting.
Introducing
This chick has some skills. Did you hear how almost intoxicated? Oh, you're so cool. I love it. Like, she's got this guy hooked. And she's... Props to O'Keefe for always getting these amazing actors and actresses, and props to the amazing actors and actresses. Regardless of what, I was talking about the whole debate with Joe from Good Logic. Yeah, anyway.
Serge Varla.
Props to those on the
LinkedIn
ground.
Says he's worked for Morgan Stanley, Citadel, and now
Citadel.
as a recruiter
Oh,
at
Citadel.
BlackRock.
I work for a company called BlackRock. I'm not actually a finance guy. I know what happens because I'm recruiting people who do these things. I'm the person who headhunts people from other firms. So I would approach you and be like, hey, this is a good reason why you should come work for us.
Serge tells us who really runs the world, how they do it, and just how much it costs to buy people, like politicians.
Let me tell you, it's
Shout out to DNL Mentors in the chat.
not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's the,
And who's that?
the hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys run campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates.
How so?
All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians.
How do they run the world?
You acquire stuff. You diversify, you acquire, you keep acquiring, you spend whatever you make in acquiring more. And at a certain point, your risk level is super low. Like, imagine you've invested in like 10 different industries, from food to drinks to like technology, right? One of them fails, it doesn't matter. You have 9 others to make it.
He said campaign finance. And by the way, check out DNL Mentors' channel here on Rumble. Anyway, he mentions that it's all in campaign finance. Well, now he's getting into, well, no, I have these investments in private corporations and different industries. And it doesn't matter if one of them fails, you have 9 others to back them up. How is this buying politicians, he's about to say.
Yeah. Risk management is inherently in just about everything. And in the finance space, it's all about it's all about the money you make. You don't let it sit. You keep using it over and over, and it
Reinvest.
and it exponential growth.
And then once you just own a little bit of everything, is that where the control?
Yeah, you own a little bit of everything, and that little bit of everything gives you so much money on a yearly basis that you can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people.
Oh,
And obviously, we have this system in place. First, there's the Senate space, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. It doesn't matter.
So the idea is, if I own a little bit of Coca-Cola, I own a little bit of Anheuser-Busch, I own a little bit of Pfizer, I own a little bit, and then when I get my returns on investment, when I make more money off of that money, reinvest it in the next 10 corporations. And then eventually, like my hedge fund's portfolio will be so big that senators will start to notice. And once senators notice, well, then I could have sit-down meetings with them and provide bribes under the table.
Who wins?
You're still right.
They're in my pocket at this point. I can give you 500K right now. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do what needs to be done? They're like, yeah, of course.
And
Why not?
does like everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
The BlackRock recruiter
Everyone
also tells
does
us
that.
about how the U.S. government relies on BlackRock for their economic simulation computational power.
Economic simulation. They need to understand the impact of something, right? They're gonna like raise the interest rate, for example. It's gonna create this cascade of various factors that people they're not sure what it's gonna do, basically.
And just how fucking great the Ukraine war is for business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? We don't want the conflict to end.
Okay, we already talked about this.
We don't want the conflict to end as a country. The longer this goes on, the weaker Russia is. I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. The price of wheat's gonna go mad up. So what are you gonna do? In an hour or two, that stock goes up, and then you sell, and you just made, I don't know, however many mil.
Why would a news channel promote a side in war?
Because it's also good for business too. I mean, what's news? News, right? What does news feel?
Okay, here we go. Now, mind you, it's when the news organization's top shareholders are hedge funds who are also invested in the war.
They feed on strategy, they feed on up events. That's what people like to watch. So when it happens, it's good business. More viewers. When nothing's happening, watches news. I don't watch news.
They're all pushing like the same talking point. Like you generally, when you look at news, like
It's propaganda. Ukraine.
Okay, like right now, there are a lot of little old ladies huddled around their TV, like waiting for news about the Titan submarine, which we'll get into the Titan submarine too.
The economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right?
Serge also speaks on BlackRock-influenced news and even gave our journalists some tips.
based on everything we know now, when they say to sell, does that mean we should buy?
And so, yeah. It's like, you know Jim Cramer? If you do,
the inverse Cramer!
What he's advising, you actually make money.
The inverse Cramer!
Yeah.
Shout out to the inverse Cramer! Yes!
They don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Sorry if my yelling was loud. I've got this really loud in my headphones.
It's probably
My
because
apologies.
it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it.
And when Serge was asked about insider trading and if Larry Fink recently sold $100 million in BlackRock shares, here is what he said.
Larry Fink recently sold $100 million worth of BlackRock.
This is what I'm interested in.
Wow. Damn, Larry, that's not a good sign. The people who trade and make money, they do this the moment the information is out. And that info is typically disseminated at private levels first before it hits the mainstream.
If you want to invest smart, there's a tracker that tracks all politicians and where they have their stocks. Preemptively, if we think the stock price is going to tank, we're going to sell so that we sell it high, it tanks, and we
Except for those politician trackers are being censored in many places on the internet.
buy back. And we didn't make, but we preserved a few mil.
But perhaps the most remarkable and profound comment by the BlackRock recruiter is the suggestion that nobody is going to care about what he is saying here or confessing here. Because as he says, quote, normal people don't give a shit.
You're like an undercover reporter.
Really? No, don't normal people worry about this stuff?
No, normal people don't give a shit. This is beyond them.
That these types of questions my reporter asked are beyond.
He's not wrong!
The answer is something that you the people.
He's
the
not
servants,
wrong. How many people
shareholders
give two
could
shits
possibly
about what BlackRock's
understand?
doing?
It's been said that it's easier to fool a man than to convince him he's been fooled. There is no question that many Americans are still asleep, who may not want to wake up from their necessary illusions. But we hope and believe by showing these tapes of this BlackRock gatekeeper speaking so plainly on so many topics that not only we wake up people, but also inspire others to come forward on institutions like BlackRock. Oh, and this is just part one. Stay tuned tomorrow for my meeting with Serge Varley. We also reached out for comment to BlackRock, and here's what they had to say.
Oh, nothing. They said nothing. Ah. Oh, Serge Varley deleted his shit. Okay. Well, big shout out to James O'Keefe and his staff at O'Keefe Media Group. Apparently he did go live with his video. O'Keefe said that they were going to have a follow-up the next day where he was going to confront the individual personally. And that video is now out. Let's go ahead and watch a little bit of it and see what this guy has to say. It's going to be a 4-minute, 35-second video.
Hey there. Is this seat taken?
Someone's gonna come back, but what's up?
Okay. Now, in the original video, there's a moment where he goes, "Yeah, you seem real interested in these boring subjects. It feels like you're an undercover reporter or something." And so now we get to see the look on this guy's face. This is great.
Well, that person actually works for me.
Live from the Bronx, this is James O'Keefe with OMG.
My name is James O'Keefe, and I'm with OMG. You work for BlackRock, is that right?
Yep, that's true.
Okay.
First of all, I don't consent to me recording with you.
You don't have to. This is New York. It's a one-party
I know.
state. Right.
Yeah, but well, okay, but you asked me some questions, but
Yeah.
please don't record me right now.
I can't agree to that. I mean, you work for a very powerful
Okay,
institution.
then I will not talk to you.
Well, just let's take a look at what you say here. Goodbye, politics.
I don't consent. I love it when people who have never dealt one bit with photography or videography, they have this misunderstanding of wiretapping and recording laws, and they just look. We walk through the world with security cameras, surveillance cameras, traffic cameras. There are cameras on you everywhere in public, and the way the law works is you don't have an expectation of privacy in those areas. And so if someone else walks up to you with a camera, just because you noticed that camera as opposed to the one up in the corner of the restaurant, doesn't mean the law is any different in that you can somehow not consent. There are two-party consent states, but I don't even know how surveillance cameras, I guess they can't capture audio or something. I don't know, but seeing the surprise on people's faces and the way James O'Keefe here just perfectly, well, I can't agree to that, but here, look at this.
Big ton of money, you say?
Like, you can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people.
You can start to buy people. Now that sounds a lot like slavery anyway.
Ukraine is good for business. War is good for business.
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? War is real good for business.
My first question is, who have you bought?
I haven't. I'm just well, first to clarify, I'm like a low ladder person. I'm like a nobody. I don't want to be interviewed in any way.
Well, you've already been interviewed. How does BlackRock control the wallet of the president?
BlackRock does not.
That's what you said. Those are your words. They came out of your mouth.
Sir, no, I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet.
I'm a
And I'm going to try to remember to cover the Russia-Ukraine stuff just for a quick, brief moment, and cover the Hunter Biden stuff for a quick, brief moment after this video.
Nobody. I'm a nobody.
But you just said you didn't say the thing that you're on video saying.
Yes, I did not say that BlackRock does this.
Yes, you did.
And who's that?
The hedge funds. BlackRock, the banks, these guys are-
I'm
I mean, he
nobody.
literally says, I didn't say that. And then the next thing he shows him is him saying literally those exact words.
I'm literally a liar. You don't even know my position at this. I was trying to impress a person on a date by lying.
Oh my, oh my. Well, see, that was unfortunate. Because I don't know if you know, right now, Project Veritas, who O'Keefe used to work for, has a lawsuit against O'Keefe and, like, asked him to decease from using anything that's involved with him, and now he just used their video that he filmed. That was quite interesting. I was surprised to see that.
Right, but
Did you see my LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, we sure did. We're putting it in the video. We're going to go after people who are bigger than you
Right,
throughout BlackRock. You're just one of many.
No, I
that we're
understand.
exposing.
Yeah,
just don't touch me, okay?
Oh no, sorry, I'm not
Please,
touching you.
you're getting
I'm
a little
trying
close into my
to.
personal
Sorry,
space.
I'm trying to get through. Yeah.
So why is it exciting, though? Why is it exciting?
It's exciting when goes wrong, right?
Tell me why war is exciting, sir.
He doesn't want to answer, of course. Oh wait, I'd like to hear this. Why isn't he showing this?
Where are you going?
I'm going there.
You're walking into the police station?
Would you like to follow me?
I'll stand right here.
No, come on.
You want me to follow you into the police station?
Yes.
What are you going to do with the police? What are you going to say to the
I'm
police?
gonna ask them to make you stop following me. I have no expertise in anything that you're asking me.
Okay, what is your expertise?
Just recruiting people. That's it.
And where do you work?
Okay.
Where is he? Where is he going? He's going into the police station? He literally walked from the restaurant into the police station.
Who are they going to arrest?
Maybe him. Maybe they're going to arrest him. He's handed himself into the NYPD, folks. James O'Keefe here, standing here in the Bronx, New York, at the corner of Kingsbridge Avenue and 236th Street. I'm standing outside the precinct. The BlackRock executive is inside the 50th precinct, talking to the police about my presence here on the streets of New York with a microphone and cameras, asking him questions about what he said regarding the Ukraine war, buying politicians, recruiting people to work at BlackRock, an institution that manages.
See, this is why, to me, James O'Keefe is a very important part of our society. Because, I mean, this is literally a cockroach running from the light you turned on. The guy was more than happy to brag. I mean, don't get me wrong. He thought he was on a date. He thought he was trying to impress a young lady into her bedroom. But he's literally bragging about funding war. He's bragging about murder. He's bragging about buying politicians, bribery, corruption of the highest level. And he thinks this is masculine enough to get him laid. This is exactly the kind of cockroach that needs a light shined upon him.
10, 20 trillion.
And what does he do? He runs for the cracks, runs behind the guy with a badge.
In his words, I wanted to ask him what he meant by that. He told me that he's a low-level guy, that he just recruits people at BlackRock. He also denied saying the things that he said. He denied using the words that he used, suggested I was taking him out of context. I asked him what he meant by that. When he walked into the police station, the police kind of gave their shoulders a shrug, like, oh, it's journalists? Live from the Bronx. This is James O'Keefe with OMG.
So again, support O'Keefe Media Group if you wish. That's o'keefemediagroup.com. That's James O'Keefe's video. And yeah, that's exactly the kind of stuff that needs to be happening. Okay, let's deal with the